Hey guys, welcome to my first video of 2016. I cannot believe it's 2016. Oh my gosh, I still think it's 2015. Like, I've been looking at papers and stuff and I'm like, 2016? Is it 2016? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Anyways, today's video is going to be my best of beauty 2015, and I have quite a few products that I want to talk to you guys about. Most of them are drugstore friendly, so you can be happy about that. But I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the video. So I'm skipping my 2015 December favorites because I just realized when I sat down to film that video that all of the products I had pretty much talked about before, except like one or two. And I was like, you know what? They're going to be right in the video next week on the beauty favorites. So I'm just going to skip that video. So I hope you guys don't mind. And I'm just going to kind of mention to you guys what I've been loving for December as well. And you guys will kind of just see all of the favorites at once. So I'm starting off with primers, and the first primer that I have to talk about is the SmashBox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. Now this primer got me through the beginning half of 2015 because once I discovered this, I was like, oh my gosh, drugstore primers out the door. But no, it's definitely not like that. This one's almost empty, by the way, too. If you guys can see that, there's like nothing in it, but I'm squeezing every little bit out. This is the sample size, and it says that it's oil free. This, I noticed, just kind of smooths out everything on my face. So it's not just the pores, it just gives me like a nice smooth finish, and my foundation goes on really nice. It doesn't slide off throughout the day, and it just keeps my foundation just nice and smooth throughout the day. So I love these primers by SmashBox. So the next primer I have to mention is also by SmashBox, and this is their Photo Finish Foundation Primer, but this is the pore minimizing one. This is also oil free. Now, I usually keep this one in my T-zone area, like right here, and down my nose. I don't go like all over my face like I do with the Photo Finish Primer, just because this one's for pores. So this like really smooths out my pores and fills them in and just blurs them. So I like this one for that reason, and I've been using this one like crazy as well, and it's just been a long time favorite. This next primer is perfect for the summertime. I was using it like every day in the summer because I'm so oily and I needed something to just keep me matte as much as possible. And this is the No. 7 Beautifully Matte Makeup Base, and this stop shines for a matte finish and improves blemishes. I don't know about the improves blemishes part, but I do know that it did help me stay matte throughout the day. So I would pair this with like a matte foundation, and it would just be, you know, I wouldn't get oily until hours later after applying it. So I love this product for a overall matte finish. The next primer that I want to mention is an eyeshadow primer, and this one I discovered in the latter part of 2015, but I couldn't put it down. It just beat out all of my other eyeshadow primers at the moment, and this is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Now, I'm probably the last person ever to try this primer, but when I did, I was just like, oh my gosh, what have I been using before? Like, why have I not used this? And this just helps, especially with all of those like looks that I was doing, like the New Year's Eve and the Christmas and all of those looks that you want to make sure they don't go anywhere. You definitely need a great primer, and I never noticed how much a eyeshadow primer really helps until you actually use it. So this primer is definitely going to be something that's going to stay in my collection for a long time. This is the sample size of this, so I am going to be purchasing the full size as soon as this one runs out. And the best thing I like about this primer is the fact that it has a wand applicator. The other primers that I was using, you just squeeze them out and they would get so messy around like the hole of the tube. And I just got tired of trying to unclog the hole of where the primer just built up and got stuck. And I was just like, ugh. So I love this one mainly for that reason as well. So yeah, just try this primer if you have not already. So moving on to foundations, the #1 foundation of 2015 that I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to mention this. It just has to get another plug in another video. And this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. And this is in the shade 112 Cocoa. I have noticed that I have not been able to find this shade at like any Target. Most CVS's aren't carrying it. They just go to the Soft Stable and then they stop. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I hope it's not going away for good. If anybody knows, let me know. It's just an all-around great foundation. The coverage is amazing. The mattifying power is amazing. The lasting power is amazing. Like, it stays on your face for at least more than 8 hours, I know. For a fact, I know that it stays on for more than 8 hours. Try this foundation if you have not yet. So the next foundation I want to mention is the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth, and also the matte one as well. I don't have the matte one because I ran out, but I love both of those because I would mix them together. They're $3.50, $3.55, and $3.60, I want to say. And I would just mix those together and it would give me my perfect foundation finish. This was an amazing foundation, and the best thing about it was the price. It's only $5, maybe $5.99, I think, at Target. It's amazing, so you cannot go wrong with that. Definitely try this if you haven't yet, because it's one of the best foundations at the drugstore, especially for the price. The last foundation that I wanted to mention is a higher end foundation, and this is the SmashBox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. I really love this foundation. I wanted something a little bit more higher end just for the coverage purposes, and I went out and got this one, and it was amazing because it stayed on and it kept its coverage while it stayed on for an extended period of time. So I love that about it. I love the fact that it had a pump, so you don't have to squeeze anything or pour anything out and it create messes or anything like that. So I love this foundation, and you can get this at Ulta, I think is where they mainly sell SmashBox products at. So the next items I want to mention are concealers, and I have not too many concealers, and they're all, the good thing about them is the majority of the concealers that I have to mention are drugstore or affordable concealers, with the exception of one, and that is the MAC Prolongwear concealer. And again, I'm probably the last person to try this concealer, but I got my hands on it. I am in the shade NW40. I love this concealer simply for the fact it offers a more full coverage look, and it lasts for a longer time than some of the drugstore concealers. So if you're looking for something more fuller coverage, you cannot go wrong with the MAC Prolongwear. A little goes a long way. I thought that when I first got this, I thought that I was going to be going through this immediately, but it's still here. So I love the fact that it has a pump on it. It just makes it very easy to just squeeze out a little bit, so you don't have to use too much or feel like you've put on cake concealer. So I love this concealer, and I'm glad that I tried it. The next concealer that I wanted to mention is this Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade 30 Café. I actually just went and picked up a new one of these because I had ran out of my other one, and I really wanted to mention it to you guys. And I really love this concealer because it has, you know, that same wand application, and it also is very lightweight, so it makes it a lot easier to blend out underneath the eye. So this is like the perfect everyday concealer, and I just love it. It's just amazing. The next concealer that I want to mention is this NYX HD Photogenic High Definition Mineral Enriched Concealer. That's a lot. But I randomly tried this concealer out, and I actually kind of fell in love with it towards the end. It actually sat in my drawers for a while, and just here recently I was like, I'm going to try this out because I ran out of my Maybelline Fit Me, and I actually found a new love for this concealer because I don't know, in the beginning when I was trying it, I just really didn't like it. But then as I tried it out, I was like, okay, second chance was a charm for me. So this is in the color CW08, and I think it's the perfect shade for me, and you can't go wrong with most of the NYX products. They're so affordable, and they have like a lot of different shades. So I love this concealer. The last concealers that I wanted to mention were all over the internet this year. These are the LA Girl Pro concealers, and I have 4 shades here. These are my main 4 shades that I use. The first 2 colors that I have are Warm Honey and Toffee. These 2 shades I use if I want a bright under eye. So I only use these for that, and I mix them together to get like the perfect under eye color for me. The next shade I have is Toast. I recently picked up Toast because I didn't want a bright under eye shade, and I was going on vacation, and I knew I was going to be taking a lot of pictures, maybe some flash photography pictures, and so I wanted something that matched my skin tone a little bit better. So instead of going that normal 2 shades up from your foundation, this is more like 1 shade for me. and it worked flawlessly. So if you guys are kind of over the bright highlight trend, I definitely recommend getting a darker concealer, and that way that will make it look a little bit more natural. So it kind of fills in those dark under eye circles, but it looks natural at the same time. So I love this one for that reason. And then the last one I have is Dark Cocoa, and I use this one to just kind of bronze up my skin and warm it up, and also to just kind of lightly contour. The last concealer that I wanted to mention is in this palette, and this is the NYX Conceal, Correct, and Contour palette. And the reason why I wanted to mention this is because I use this palette to set my eyebrows, like to kind of carve them out around the edges to make them look very polished and neat. I use this color for that. And then for correcting, a lot of the time I use this shade down here. It's like this orangish shade, and that cancels out any dark spots or blemishes or dark circles that you have, and it just helps give a flawless finish to your overall makeup. So the next item I wanted to mention has been a favorite for a while now, and this is a powder. This is the Makeup Forever Duo Matte Foundation Powder. This is also a powder that you could replace your foundation with. So if you wanted to do maybe more of a less coverage, kind of no makeup look, you could probably use this for that. This is in the shade 218. And at first I thought this was going to be too light for me, but it actually works very well with my foundation. So I usually use this to set my foundation, and it just it's so matte. It just mattifies my entire face, and it adds a little bit more coverage as well. So it just works so well, and I love it. The next item I have is what I've been just loving for setting my under eye concealer with, and this is in the Makeup Revolution London. This is their Ultra Bronze palette, and it's the All About Bronze palette. So this shade right here is what I use to set my under eye concealer with, and I just love it. This is what I always use to set it with now, and I just noticed that it just provides the right amount of brightness, and it doesn't crease at all. So I only have one blush that I want to mention, and if you've been watching my videos for a while now, you should already know what it is. This is the LA Girl Pomegranate blush, and again, you cannot go wrong with LA Girl products. I got this for $2.99 as well, and it's just like this really nice kind of pinky shade, and I think it works well for my skin tone. So it looks really nice, and it's not shimmery. It's a matte blush. I don't really like shimmer blushes because I don't like being shimmery too much. So this is a matte blush, and I love it. Moving on now to bronzers and highlighters. The first one that I want to mention is this CoverGirl bronzer. This was something that I was going to mention in my December favorites, because this is pretty much the only drugstore bronzer that I can find for darker skin tones. So if you guys know of another one that is at the drugstore that can beat this, then let me know. But I did some research, and pretty much everyone was saying that this is the perfect shade for bronzing or contouring at the drugstore. I use it for bronzing because it does have some like little shimmers in it, and I didn't really want that like in my cheekbones and stuff like that for contouring. So this is in the shade Ebony Bronze, and it is amazing. It just gives me the right amount of warmth if I'm using like a concealer or a foundation that just brightens up my face and it's too bright. So this, I go back in with this around the perimeter, and it just warms up my face perfectly. So definitely try this out if you have not. The highlighter that I wanted to mention today is the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer Powder in the shade Rock On World. Now this is like the perfect highlighter for dark skin tones in my opinion, because it's just so golden, and it's just like a mixture of different gold tones, and I think it just pops really well on darker skin tones. I don't know, but it just looks really good on my cheeks, and it lasts a long time as well. It doesn't fade off or anything like that. And the best thing about these highlighters is, since they're by Makeup Revolution, they're really affordable. So if you have not tried any of Makeup Revolution's products, I definitely recommend them to you guys, and you can find them at Ulta. So moving on now to eyeshadows. The first palette that I want to mention was something that I contemplated getting, and I was so happy when I purchased it. This was like one of my favorite palettes of 2015. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and the reason why it was one of my favorite palettes is because I am a matte girl. I love my matte shadows, and this one is just matte galore. Like, it has everyday neutrals that you can just use every single day. for me at least. And I just love it. And it has these little quads, so you can use like these 4 shadows together, these four, whatever. And then I also like the fact that it came with like these really Greek names. So I love Kat Von D, and I love the fact that she kind of steps out of the comfort zone for people and just does what she wants to do. So the next palette that I want to mention is something that I got towards the latter part of 2015, and I really wanted the first one, but couldn't get it because it was limited edition. This one is the Lorac Pro Mega 2 palette, and I'm so glad that they decided to put this one in stores because the first one went so quick and it was limited edition and I never got it. So I was kind of bummed about that, but I was able to get this one, and I just love the shades, love the shadows. They're so pigmented. All the Lorac shadows are so pigmented, and I have pretty much every one of their other palettes, so I was so happy when they were coming out with a mega palette with everything in it. This one is a little bit more cool tone. I have done a couple of looks using this palette already, and I will link them down in the description bar. Last palette that I have to mention is a little bit more affordable, and this is the Morphe brushes 35W palette. And Morphe was all over YouTube this year, and I am just so happy for their success. And this one is a little bit more warm, and you have some cool tones in here as well, but this one's very warm and I love it. And I have this shadow, it's just lingering around the room somewhere, but I love these shimmery shades. It's just an everyday warmth palette if you needed one. So moving on now to the liquid eyeliners that I just could not get enough of for 2015. The first one that I have to mention is the NYC liquid liner. I love this liquid liner. I think someone here on YouTube put me onto it, probably Luster Lux. I love it because of the simple fact that it seems like it has a lot of product in here for the price, so it's very inexpensive. I want to say this is like $2 or $3 at your local drugstore. And I love the fact that it has a flexible brush, so it just makes it really easy to just glide on across the eye. Some of the felt tip brushes are kind of hard. You kind of have to kind of like scrub back and forth or something to apply the liquid liner, but this one is very easy to apply. The next eyeliner that I want to mention is Holy Grail status. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. I have pretty much used this in almost every one of my makeup tutorials because it is amazing. I tried the waterproof kind and it was not good. So don't try the waterproof kind because I think that this is pretty much waterproof as it is, and it dries matte very fast. So you don't get any type of shine or anything. It has pretty much a similar brush to the NYC liquid liner, but the brush is not as thick, so it makes it very easy to get a thin wing liner with it. So I want to go ahead and mention the brow products that I've been loving for 2015 as well. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Sculptor Pencil, and this is in the shade Dark Brunette. I have already used this down and I recently just bought it. This is just the perfect everyday brow product for me. I'm a more of a pencil person because it's just really easy to just fill in my brows with a pencil instead of trying to apply powder or a pomade or something like that. It's just really easy to do, especially if you're in a rush, which I usually am. So I love this pencil. For setting my brows, I love the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Brow Gel. It's also in the same line as that pencil. This is just a transparent brow gel, and I actually have not ran out of this, and I've had this for a while now, and it just has a little wand that you use to set your brows. And I'm not really big into brow gel. This one has really changed my brow game and just made my brows all the way on fleek, so I just love this for that reason. So the last favorites that I wanted to mention are mascaras, and I have 3 here that I want to mention to you guys. The first one is the Rimmel Kate London Eye Rock Jet Black Mascara. I love this one, especially because of the wand, because it's like this really nice curved wand, so it's very unique to me. And it just hits all of my lashes on the upper lash line, and I just love it for that reason. The next one is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This one is another item that slept in my collection for a while, and I just never used it until recently, and I just have been so in love with it. I'm just like, why didn't I never use this for a while? So at the end of 2015, I just fell in love with this mascara, and I've literally been using it every day. It's been just camping out in my purse now. So it went from collection to purse real quick at the end of 2015. So I love this mascara now. The next mascara I also kind of got put on at the end of 2015 as well. Towards the end, I would like to say about 2 months or so before the end of the year. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Miss Manga mascara. Now, I know that they have like another one. I think it's like a yellow one. I want to try that one out this year and see how that one works. But this one's like very well for volume. And mine is pretty much dry, so I have to get another one. But I love it for just the fact that it just helps make my lashes a lot thicker but not make them clumpy. So I love this mascara. So yeah guys, if you made it to the end of this video, please give me a big thumbs up, especially if you enjoyed it. And I'm so happy that I got through this video. I feel like I've been sitting here forever talking to you guys about these products. It's probably going to be one of my longest videos here on my channel, just depending on how well I can edit it down for you guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so happy that I have so much support and love from you guys, and I hope you guys stay on this journey with me in 2016, and I'm excited to see where I'll go in 2016 as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.